one bad half of football.
Yep.
Moments into it, Wilds declaring the game over. The Chiefs minus 180 favorites at the start of the second half. Not to win that game, but to win the Super Bowl. And now we're asking, will they ever win again? So here's the deal. Every decade in NFL history has had a dynasty. The 60s had the Packers. The 70s had the Steelers. The 80s had the Niners. The 90s had the Cowboys. 2000s had the defense-led Tom Brady Patriots. The 2010s had the offense-led Tom Brady Patriots. So who's it going to be of the 2020s? My guess would be the team that's already won one, been to another, and was an overtime away from being to another. Or I guess 2 overtimes away, one could argue. That would be my guess. My guess is this, that we're not going to say the quarterback who has had the greatest start to a career ever is never going to win another Super Bowl. Oh, but it happened to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, the year after the Super Bowl, didn't make another conference championship game for nearly 5 years. He didn't make the Super Bowl the next year and then make the conference championship game the year after that. Oh, Nick, but what about the young quarterbacks? All right, well, let me ask this, Brew. If my premise is correct, there's going to be a dynasty of the 2020s. What team's better positioned? There isn't one. So we can argue about definitions of dynasty, and did the Patriots have one elongated one with a 10-year gap in the middle or 2 distinct ones the way I argue. But I don't think anyone truly believes, that Patrick Mahomes, barring, if we're going to remove the catastrophic injury part of this, that a healthy Patrick Mahomes is never going to win another Super Bowl. That seems foolish. So if those are the only 2 doors, dynasty or he's ringless, then obviously the answer is dynasty.
Well, look, logic would say, Nick, I disagree with you. I think logic would say the more likely conclusion is he doesn't win another ring. Who in the world would have thought Dan Marino, after getting to the Super Bowl so early in his career, putting up numbers we had never seen before, sound familiar? Didn't even get to another Super Bowl, let alone win it.
No.
Who would have thought that Peyton Manning, after winning his first Super Bowl in 2006, wouldn't win another one for a full decade? All right, and you brought up Rodgers, but no one would have dreamed that the great Aaron Rodgers would not have even gotten to another Super Bowl a decade later. So, and you mentioned the dynasties, and I agree with you. Steelers, Niners, Cowboys, Patriots. Okay? There's only been 4 in the Super Bowl era, and Nick, there's only been 1 since the free agency era began in 1993. Okay? And that 1 included 1 coach and 1 player. Period. And that player is the GOAT, and that coach is as well. So I think the logic is against Mahomes, creating another dynasty. And there's more. Look at the free agency era I mentioned. Mahomes' cap number is about to skyrocket. It's $7.4 million this year. You see it jumps all the way to 36 next year, 47 the year after that, and keeps going up. All right, that's going to make it harder for them to put the great pieces around him, which is what makes it so much harder in the free agency era to win, become a dynasty. But here's where I'm with you, Nick. I have said Patrick Mahomes, Wilds, has GOAT potential. I have said he is Michael Jordan-esque. And one thing that those in the GOAT conversation do is they defy logic. Jordan, when Nick always points to it, came back, from baseball and looked bad against Orlando in the playoffs. He's done. He was great. He might have been the greatest ever, but he clearly has lost it. No one would have thought he's going to win another three-peat, and he did it. All right, LeBron down 3-1. It's over. To the greatest regular season team in history, he won. Tom Brady, he's going to win more Super Bowls than any franchise has. Really? Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. He did it. And so I believe Patrick Mahomes, Wilds, is that caliber of player. And I do think he'll turn the Chiefs into a dynasty against all logic.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. No one's going to argue that. Patrick Mahomes doesn't play defense, doesn't play special teams. Also not the GM, not the coach. And you touched on it, Broussard, that the Patriots had the double GOAT, maybe triple GOAT. You want to throw Vinatieri in there as well. So, Nick, I don't think a quarterback makes a dynasty. I just don't. So I think he's a wonderful player. I'm sorry?
You mentioned the coach. I'm asking, is Andy Reid? Andy Reid any good? Andy Reid seems good. I think he's good. I think he's the second best coach in football.
Okay, but is he the greatest coach of all time? Is he undisputably the greatest coach of all time? Does he make all the personnel decisions as well? Does he have a 20-year plan for the Chiefs? I don't think so. I think Belichick does. So do I think that Mahomes is closer to Tom Brady and Andy Reid is closer to Bill Belichick than where we actually are right now, where maybe Mahomes' career goes like Russell Wilson, great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback. Peyton Manning with the Colts, great quarterback. Drew Brees, great quarterback. I'm talking about all-time great quarterbacks with one championship. It's a nice place to be.
Hold on. So those four quarterbacks you mentioned go into two very separate buckets. And I think even you would admit Patrick Mahomes is by every eye test plus metric plus anything better than Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. He is just flatly a better football player, a better quarterback than those two guys. There's a reason those two guys never won league MVP and never will win league MVP. Do you agree with me that he's just, of those four guys you listed, he's just flatly better than Brees and Wilson? Will you concede that?
He's light years better? To me? No. Sure.
Okay, I think he's demonstrably better. I think he accomplished more in the first 3 years of his career than either one of those guys did in the entirety of their careers. Rodgers and Manning, I do not think he is demonstrably better than. I do not think he is markedly better. He might not actually be at all better than Peyton Manning, who I think has an argument that as far as like methodically playing the position is the best I've ever seen.
Totally fair.
The difference is Mahomes is already third on the all-time playoff comeback list, while Rodgers and Manning, throughout the entirety of their careers, their biggest issue has been coming up short in big spots. Nobody thought Rodgers would go ringless after the first Super Bowl, but then when you saw him continually fail with better teams, you're like, oh, maybe he will. And Manning, people absolutely thought that might be the only Super Bowl he gets. When you saw him go one and done 4 times leading up to it. When you saw him get 41-0 and 27-3. So I think if you have the talent of those two guys, plus already the resume and the comebacks that we saw 10 days ago of Brady and Montana, the idea, Jenna, that he'll never win another ring, I don't think anyone actually believes that's going to happen.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.